So you're still here, apparently, although there's no one here. um, so what's being suggested here is that this is all just boundlessness. This is all boundless, deathless, aliveness energy that oscillates between clarity and contraction. Since it's boundless, it doesn't have any end, it doesn't have any beginning. Without a story, everything is as they are. Without the story, everything is just boundless energy. Seeing the story as energetic contraction, an oscillation of what is and what is not. Like a bedtime story, it puts you, there's no you, this aliveness to sleep, obscured by the intoxicating ideas of other than this. Like a bedtime story, it puts innocence to sleep and dreams of shame, guilt, terror, right, wrong, righteous, morality, whatever it is. So this lullaby of illusion suggests that sleeping to the singularity that doesn't sleep. So there's this wide awakeness right now that seems to be obscured by the snooze button. The snooze button that keeps on appearing, seemingly hiding what is already revealed. But the snooze button is also aliveness. That snooze button is that thinking that you can control things, that there's a you that's manipulating this apparent happening. Since there's nothing happening, thinking that there is something happening by manipulating it by action, thoughts, ideas, avoiding this and preferring this other than this, it seems to be what seems to happen in suffering or the addiction of escaping this. So once upon a time in a story, there was this character named Emerson that was addicted to escaping this. It always thought that there's something better than this, there's something that I can achieve, there's something that I can better myself off. There's this dream of being better than everybody else, being holy, being superior, because really inherently it felt unworthy. So this dream of unworthiness gives rise to this idea that there is something better than this unworthy feeling, this shame or guilt or whatever that arises that seems to be an intoxication of separateness. So somehow separateness becomes intoxicating because it fluctuates this idea that there's something other than this. It gives the thrill of the highs and the lows. There's this movie that I watched called Bliss. It's a movie in Amazon. It's really funny. It's about this movie that in this dystopian future, it opens up with this really dystopic, really suffering, a lot of suffering happening, and then people are trying to escape from it. So a man and a woman meets, and the woman gives this apparent individual a pill, seemingly to give it bliss. So the plot twist is that this suffering environment, a lot of suffering, a lot of war, a lot of pain that's happening, was just a simulation. It was being simulated by an apparent future, a utopian future that there's no suffering. So in this apparent future that there's no suffering, because it's all bliss, it's all pure bliss, this utopian, people wanted to experience suffering because it could not, it does, it's been 100 years of utopia. So it's the utopia with nothing to do with food, with abundance and everything, was being taken for granted. So they would take this simulated world of suffering to experience duality. So the experience of duality is what is being expressed here as the intoxication. It goes into this story that there's something other than this, because this is not intoxicating to the story. The story keeps on seeking other stories, so it just generates this story of up and down, here and there, this or that, you or I. All of this is a story. This is just trying to point out that the story, when it's seen as a story, is just actually openness. So in this openness, a story appears of relationships, heartbreaks, and in loveness. Yes, I'm talking to you, but there's no one there. There's no one there, so no one ever has any relationship. So in this intoxication, there is this looking for love, finding love, losing love. In this oscillation between clarity, that there's no one here, and the contraction that there is someone else and there's someone here. Again, without the story, everything is as they are. What I mean by as they are is that there is nothing. So this story is an energetic contraction, an oscillation, an energetic contraction of being in love and not in love, finding love, losing love. It puts conditions into the unconditional love that is being expressed here. Everything in the unconditionality cannot be understood. It cannot be experienced. So there's this rise, and this is just a story of the experiencer that wants to experience heartache, loss, and finding. Once it's seen that the experiencer and the experiences of love, of finding love and losing love, is the illusion, is the contraction, then clarity that appears with contraction, the oscillation starts to, it's kind of like a fan that the plug has been pulled, and there's this oscillation of love, not non-love, or me, or being, and then it loses its intoxication. There's this sobriety that apparently happens, that whatever is. Whatever seems to be dreamt at is just a dream. So this fun ride called whatever it is, suffering, bliss, is the experience of duality in a non-dualistic apparent reality. So there's this preference, there's this judgment, there's this ideas, there's this feelings, emotions, all of this messy stuff that is not being avoided here, but what is being pointed at, that the messy stuff, the great stuff, the highs and the lows is just what is. So when there is an apparent, when someone is apparently feeling, like down or and everything, it wants it to be whatever, it wants it to be released from that one. But what's being missed here is that even that apparent hardship or suffering is also emptiness. It does not really stick. How can emptiness stick into nothing? The illusion. And then there's this, the suffering happens is when you're trying to stop the roller coaster. Have you been in a roller coaster that it's really terrifying and you're screaming at the top of your lungs? Not this character though, but the character the first time it rode a roller coaster, it was petrified. Nearly peed my pants, and then went back into the line and said, again. Again, so what's being expressed here is that all of this story is just boundless energy that seems to be contracted, but it's actually really clear that that's just what's happening. The so whatness of everything. So what if it's down? So what if it's up? So what if it's hard? So what if it's bliss? Because everything is just a simulation, but no one is simulating it. So the belief, it's a simulation that's simulating itself. It's an illusion that is just running into illusions. So all of this illusion that feels completely real, to have the experience of this apparent humanness. So nothingness or infinity is having this apparent dream, and the attempt to control it becomes nightmarish, becomes the suffering. And it attends these meetings and hoping to get out of the dream. Well, guess what? There's no one in the dream. That's it. If you have any question, please, let's share whatever was being talked about. Nothing will be an offer, just stories to illuminate that everything is a story. There's no one dreaming. There's no one dreaming at all. So, like in a nighttime dream, the question is who is dreaming? Sorry, peace. So, there's no one dreaming at all. So, there's this apparent dreaming that's happening that's not happening to anyone. Like in a nighttime dream, everything that happens in a nighttime dream, the moment that there's a wake up nest, although no one wakes up, everything disappears. So, no one gets out of the dream because there's no one dreaming. It's just all this boundless energy dreaming in a contracted dream. A contracted dream of time, a contracted dream of separation, a contracted dream of relationships, a contracted dream of you and I. But since it's a dream, nothing is happening. Thank you so much.
Hello, Emerson.
Hello. Who's
Hi,
that? Hello.
Baran. Is it a dream dreaming itself?
Yes, but no one's in it.
But the
There's
dream is
just.
going on.
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
The dream is going on by itself.
That's right. Yeah, it's not. It's not. It's not. Being. I can't find you. There's a Jonas.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, just a second here. Oh, you don't. You're not on screen. Sorry. Okay, no worries. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead with the question.
Yeah, just wanted to clarify if it's a dream.
You can also
Dreaming.
say that it's boundless energy dreaming in boundlessness, in boundaries. You can also say that it's emptiness dreaming in dreaming, infinity dreaming of itself. So no one is dreaming. It's just the infinity dreaming in separation, dreaming in the illusion of time, the illusion of individuality, dreaming as a personal dream. But there's no person behind it. It's just a dream.
It's all just then emptiness.
It's all emptiness. It's all boundlessness. Once it's seen that there's no one dreaming, once the dream collapses of time, the illusion of separation, the illusion of choice, the illusion of free will, it's rooted in the seeing that there's no one here. So the seeing, the dropping, is this collapse of this individual felt sense realness that I am separate.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Mika. Hey Mika, how are you doing?
Quite fine, thank you. I just came from my friend's funerals.
Yeah.
And I was wondering that there is no time and there is no space, but there is apparently time and space when to share this, that it would have been insensitive if I would have said in funerals that he was just a dream.
Yes, it would be, because in the dream there's a felt sense of reality, right? The dream is the dream of reality, the dream of separation, the dream that this is happening to you and me, that there is birth and there's death. So in the dream, kind of like in the dream, if somebody's hurting, somebody's crying, there seems to be a comforting. If someone's dying, there seems to be a grieving. If someone is born, there seems to be joyfulness. So the apparent reaction to whatever is happening is an illusion that feels completely real. That's why it's an illusion. Someone also departed in this character, and there was a lot of grieving that happened. There was a lot of crying, but it's grieving for no one, which is actually liberating, because the grief, the sadness just pours through. There's no should have, could have, I should have done this more with this. I wish there was something that I could change, because there's nothing that can change. So all of that stickiness, all of that contractedness in grieving is not there. So as I said, this is like an open house, and the grieving seems to be like a storm that passes through. Sometimes it comes back. There's no one choosing for it not to be avoided. The avoidance of it is the suffering sometimes. Or the holding on to it is another suffering, because it makes the unreal real. It's seen as real, it felt sense real that someone passes, but it's also seen as unreal, like a dream. But no one is choosing that. There's just this obviousness that whatever is happening is also illusory.
Yeah, it's same thing that my friend is now in Ukraine. He's making films about the things, and it's also
that must be difficult. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the dream, there's a war going on. It's not, you're not going to say that there's no war going on. It's kind of like, it's just the same analogy as if you're hungry in the dream, you're not going to say that there's no one here. Surely you will feel hungry because it's a felt sense of realness. If there is support that happens to whichever, Ukraine or Russia or whatever, you know what I'm saying? That's also what's happening. In the dream, if there's evil and there's good, that is also a felt sense of evil or good. But there's no such thing. Kind of like in a nighttime dream, everything that you dream at night feels real. Sometimes it's so real that when you wake up, you can't believe that it did not happen. So the believer, which is the one that believes in this realness, doesn't have a choice to believe or not to believe. So that's what apparently drops, is that whoever is believing or not believing is seen as the cyclical pattern of contraction, of oscillation, of not being there. For example, if there's this character that likes sports, when it plays sports, there's no one playing sports. But when it's doing work it doesn't like, it hates it. It keeps on saying, I can't do this work. The same thing with sleeping at night. The moment that you wake up, there's a seeing that everything did not happen. And then the me comes kind of like, interpreting what happened. It becomes a story. And there's deep sleep, which is death. So it's cycling from this oscillation of this contractedness that this is really happening, that there's felt sense of realness, into a clarity that this apparent contractedness is also clarity. That it seems like it's really happening, but it's not really happening. So everything that appears as whole. So the wholeness appearing as crying, but there's no one crying. The wholeness appearing as grieving, but there's no one grieving. Or this joyful laughter, no one is laughing. And there's no reason at all, because there's no time. So in the dream, it's a really well established illusion that seems very solid, but it's also very flimsy, because everything that is perceived by the root of the illusion, which is the me, the one that perceives everything, and there's only one illusion really. There's no 7.5 or 8 billion illusions out there. It's just seeing that everything is already perfectly happening as it is, with no one choosing to do whatsoever. The good times, the bad times, and the ugly times are the same.
I myself, I like the analogy, like awaking to the dream, in the way that sometimes I'm seeing the lucid dream, and when I'm dreaming, and I'm dreaming, and then I realize that this is
there's a sense, right? There's an intuition that this is dreaming. So this is what's apparently happening here, apparently, that there's a seeing that this is a dream, so it's always lucid dreaming. That there is a seeing that there's this obviousness that there's no one here, meaning that there's no one in the dream whatsoever. And it's speaking in a dream, in this dream language, trying to express that this is a dream. But the dreamers, there's no others there. There's an idea that there's others, thinks that someone has awakened from the dream. But it's also a dream. So no one awakens because there's no one in the dream. So there's really no one sleeping and no one awake. Those are just ideas as well. It's just, to simplify it, it's just empty dreams, dreaming of itself.
Okay, thank
All
you.
right.
Nothing.
Thank you. Okay. Peace goes, so are we imagining that life is happening, but in reality it is not? There's no we. What seems to be happening is there's just this happening that is not really happening. So there's this illusion that this is moving, that there's this separation, that there is this sound, but none of it is really happening. So yeah, but no one is imagining it, because if there's someone imagining it, it reaffirms that there is someone that's doing this. There's no one doing this. Someone asks, so what is happening? Nothing. Nothing at all. And let's expand on that one, because that seems to be the standard answer for everything. Nothing. And there's really nothing more to it. But let's expand on that one. What does nothing mean? No one knows what nothing means, because no one has experienced nothing. Because in nothing there's no one. So it can't really be explained. It's beyond explanation. It's beyond understanding. It's beyond knowing. Because even saying beyond is saying too much. Nothing is just nothing, and not even nothing, because it's just a word and trying to describe again something that's completely nameless, that doesn't have any meaning or purpose. Jonas.
Hey there. You can hear me?
Yes, I can. Yeah.
Perfect.
Where are you? Where are you?
In Germany, in
In
Stuttgart.
Germany. Oh, nice.
And you?
Toronto, Canada.
Nice.
I was about to say nowhere, but
Okay, so this labeling of real or unreal, there's only an apparent recognition that something is real or unreal, right?
everything is apparent. Everything is an illusion, right? So the illusion only operates in illusion. So it only also talks in illusory words, words that doesn't really have any meaning. But in the illusion, there is this intuition, there's this recognition by no one, or there's this obviousness that it's an illusion.
Yes.
Illusion means that it's something that is both unreal and real, right? It's not really happening. But no one knows that. Because everything here, every word that you look is all illusion. So it's a very persistent illusion that keeps on persisting that everything is real.
And what is like daydreaming? There's like an apparent forgetting of this
This is
noise.
daydreaming.
Yes. You know, what I want to talk about is these experiences in the day.
Yeah.
Where it's like not recognizing this.
It's the intoxication of something other than this, right? So there's this intoxication or drunkenness in imagining things that is not really real. It's trying to avoid what is being presented as something that's not desirable. So it goes into this apparent illusion again. The illusion is dreaming of another illusion of what should be. That's what daydreaming is. But since it's also an illusion, there's nothing to it. It's just another false narrative. Yeah.
This is like then feeling like an experience. Like
yes, but there's no one experiencing it, right?
Yes.
It's all everything is happening all at once. So this is the all at onceness that's coming. It's not really happening. So all at once, it's like this how do you say it? This immersive apparent seeing that everything is all at once happening, being seeing, the seer, and the seen. It's whole. But there's only one perception. So if you think the person right beside you or the person in front of you is perceiving something different than you, that's just your perception. There's no one here. There's no one next to you. There's this really persistent illusion that there's 56 people here, but there's really no one here. So like in a dream, the dream at night, for example, everything is happening completely real, that they're separate individuals, you're talking to them. The moment that you wake up from that dream, everything that you dreamt about completely vanishes, although it felt completely real. This is the same of that. So this is the continuous singularity dreaming of no one. In a dream at night, sometimes it feels like you have multiple dreams. This is the multiple dream, the dream of separation. Go ahead, sorry.
And this dream in the day, that is similar to the dream in the night in the bed.
There's really no day. It's not. There's really no day and night. It's just another dream. It's just another illusion. So there's this apparent, illusion that there's a morning, a daytime, and a nighttime. But nothing really changes. It's kind of like when you see a clock ticking on your watch, like one of those watches. There's an illusion of movement. But that's just really emptiness appearing as movement, appearing as sound. Kind of like how in a dream that it's all empty, but everything feels completely like there's time in a dream. There's other people in a dream. There's emotions in a dream. Sometimes you even can taste the dream. Something, it feels completely real, but nothing is real. And also it feels completely real. So it's always going to be like that it feels completely real, but it's not real. That's infinity playing itself in separation. That's infinity playing itself in dream time. Like this.
What I was thinking about is that
Sorry,
what I
go
was
ahead.
talking about, like daydreaming.
Yeah.
Is it also happening in your character or body? Or
There's no one here.
Yes,
no one.
of course.
It's seen that there's no one dreaming here at all. So the dream has ended.
So this is like speaking in time. It's like always knowing that there's no one here.
There's this obviousness that there's never been anyone here, that there's never been any time, that there's never been any space, there's never been you and I. That what seems to be appearing here. That all of this is just appearing wholeness and separateness at the same time. So meaning that there's no separation at all. So it may seem like there's separation here, there's a subject and object, but what's seen here is that subject and object is also an illusion. It's an optical illusion. It's a play of light.
Yes. I want to know if it's like a constant experience, this knowing, just
there's
always.
there's no knower, right? So everything is just simultaneously, spontaneously appearing.
So there can also appear a confused character, Emerson.
There's no Emerson.
Like lost.
There's no Emerson.
Yes, of course.
So confusion can happen. For example, if I'm kind of like, okay, am I supposed to, go on at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock? So that's just what's appearing, but it's just confusion happening, but there's no one behind it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Jonas and thank you, Eric. Sheer, go ahead, please.
Yes,
Hi, Sheer.
thank you. Hi.
How are you doing?
Yes, fine. What about you? You are
Excellent.
not. You are lucky for no one. Yeah. I was thinking just to ask. We did talk about dream.
Yes.
You said that night dream and the usual days are also a dream.
Yeah, because in a dream, is there a day or night in a dream?
No.
No. Is there a time in a dream?
No,
Is there anything
but
happening in a dream?
it's just dream.
Yeah.
But there is knowing of dream.
Who
He
knows?
might not me, but
Okay.
there is knowing. It's a. I think we did talk about this
Yeah, yeah.
one
So
by one.
the knower is the one that thinks, or it's the obscuring, it's the distortion that believes in the dream. It thinks it's separate. Because if I know, if there's a knowing that's happening, there's a separation that's happening at the same time.
No, but in the fact, me is a dream.
Yes, yeah. Everything is a
Me
dream.
is a
Let's just
me
let's
is a
just
dream.
let's just pull the whole carpet. Everything is a
Yes,
dream. Yeah.
because there is me, so there is a dream also.
There's no
But
you, it's just a dream.
just dream,
Yeah.
because I mean the me is dream, so it is a dream.
Okay, yeah, yeah, we can go with that.
Yeah, yes, but I mean this dream is and will continue forever.
Who knows that?
It's not that knows that, it's that it is.
Yes, yes. There's again when the sense of a separation is gone. So meaning when the separation is seen by no one, then everything
Yes,
is appearing infinitely.
yes, but even if the collapse of me, I don't know that, but I just say, even if the collapse happened, but the dream is continue forever, because it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
It
So
cannot
there's
be
really no
somewhere. It cannot be somewhere else than it is.
there's a story of a collapse. There's really no collapse in this, it's just a story, right? So in the
Yeah,
dream, so what seems to be happening is just infinity dreaming of itself infinitely. Eternity dreaming of itself eternally.
so do you mean that sleeping dreaming?
Everything is a dream.
Because when you sleep, deep sleep,
Yeah.
there is nothing that I can call it nothing, because you
Yeah,
cannot
yeah. So it's
name it.
all, so it's really okay. Let's just kind of like really simplify this because we're going on a rabbit hole of dream stuff
Yes,
here.
please. Yes,
Yeah, yeah. Let's just
I
simplify
would
this.
like to
So it's
simplify
really,
it.
yeah, so it's really nothing. So in deep sleeping, it's nothing. When you're dreaming, it's nothing. Nighttime dream, it's nothing. Daydream, it's nothing. Illusions are nothing. So it's all nothing. It all leads back to nothing. Nothing is happening. We use these analogies and try to apparently relate to what's apparently happening now, and also trying to put it together so that it's just this, meaning that there is nothing happening. There's this illusion that this is movement and everything, but like in a dream, every single movement, every single sound is not really happening.
But actually, I don't talk about really happening, because I it feels that happening is just simply is.
Yeah, we're getting caught
It's
up in
not
words,
happening.
right? it's
Actually,
it's
it's not happening. It's happening
it's yeah,
because here is me, so
yeah,
there is happening, But
yeah.
when here is not me, there will be nothing happening, because happening is already is.
That's right.
It's
Yeah,
not
yeah, yeah,
something which is happening.
yeah,
It's already
yeah.
is. It's
Yeah, it's really hard to describe. It's just happening without a me. Everything is seemingly happening without a me. So when there's no me, nothing is happening.
that
Yeah.
is which is very, very difficult. I just feel, that actually there is nothing which is happening. It is already is that it's me which I see. It's it looks like it's happening, but actually it's nothing. Even
Yeah.
happening is more have to be yet. So I mean, everything is like you say that everything is nothing.
Yes.
So nothing is everything.
Yeah.
See,
Nothing has
and
ever been separate from nothing.
yeah,
Right? Everything is
not
appearing in nothing.
so
Yeah.
nothing
No.
is not. So everything is that nothing.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
We just talked about nothing for like a whole 10 minutes there.
Yeah. I know. We just this is the problem.
Trying to figure out nothing. Let's
You
just
know
get
if
dive into nothing.
Emerson, this that's because it's nothing, 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 and nothing. You do very difficult to discuss.
Oh
Yes,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
everything. You know. So I mean, actually, I don't have a question.
Okay.
I, I said this
Yeah,
also
yeah,
to
yeah. No worries. No one has ever any. No one has questions. Questions
Tony
just appear.
because there is no question left.
Yeah, yeah. It's exhaustion, right?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Dave, go ahead, please.
Hey, man.
Hey, Dave, how you doing?
All right. It's funny as soon as you start talking, it's like questions do kind of evaporate. Frustrating. No, what I was thinking about today, it's just sometimes it seems so difficult to accept, which I know there's like, it's not being presented to be accepted or anything that you're saying, but there's still this movement to try to accept that, like, I'm thinking about meaning or purpose in life and like what I'm going to do with my life and, how to get somewhere, do something, worthwhile or purposeful. And then that the thought comes in, that's like the reflection of what I guess I think I'm hearing in these kind of talks and this communication, which is like, it's all nothing. There is no meaning or purpose. And
Yeah.
it's like an
That's-
immovable object and an unstoppable force. Those two
Yeah,
things,
yeah,
the movement to try to do something meaningful and the idea that there possibly is none. And it's like, it's impossible to do anything with that information, but still movements are made, things are being done, but it's just empty. It's seen as like, well, even if I do, go, start a band or go play video games, it's like, it's all empty. It's not going to lead to the fulfillment that I think is in it for me,
Yeah, but what's wrong with that?
And it feels like, I guess there's the comparison in my mind of how
See what seems to be
Some of,
happening
like,
is there is this trying to be meaningless and purposeless when it's just basically a blanket statement for everything. So even if there is a motivation to do something or no motivation to do something, it's both meaningless and purposeless. Meaning that whatever happens, happens. There's no meaning and purpose to it. So even if you go in a career or think about what you're going to do in life, although that's meaningless and purposeless, that's just what's happening. Because there's no one doing it. There's no one choosing to have any meaning or purpose or to have whatever meaning it is. So holding on to that, thinking that this is something that's a guide now, it becomes a practice almost. It becomes like, well, everything is meaningless and purpose, so what's the point? There's no point. So trying to arrive at something, this doesn't have any destination. It's just flits back and forth. So if, for example, you decide, there's no one deciding, you know what I'm saying, in the story to not do anything, that's still doing something. That's still you deciding to not do anything. That's still a choice. I'm not going to do anything right now because it's completely meaningless, and purpose is the same thing as doing something.
Yeah, it's inescapable.
It's inescapable.
The doing.
Yeah. It's the same thing. Yeah. So there's this kind of like, doing nothing or whatever. You know what? there's no one doing nothing, and there's no one doing. They're both the same.
Just being done.
It's just
Not
happening. It's going back
not
into
even that, yeah.
it's a very really boring languaging, right? It's just happening, or let's just so it's being animated in this apparent body, but no one's animating it. It's just randomness happening. There's this randomness that's happening that doesn't have, it's chaos happening. It's anarchy happening. So thinking that you have any part in that controlling, you know, or kind of like manifesting or something, or thinking that you by not doing anything is just happening, it's there's no doer whatsoever. So doing and not doing is still doing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just doesn't, you know, it just doesn't, like, the sense of starvation is so real with this, you know.
Yeah. I think it came up kind of like, oh, I'm finally here. Nope, there's no one there. I'm finally at this point that I'm not doing anything, and it's just life is just, you know, because, you know, when I'm thinking of it's everything that is happening is a story. So what's happening here is just the story is just trying to dispel that it's a story by pointing out that everything is a story, because the one that's coming up with all of this is the main story. It's coming with subplots. It coming up with different chapters, different sequels, different, like it becomes this big novella, like War and Peace or Anna Karenina. You know, it's just this massive thing, when it's just really a blank page with nothing in it.
Yeah,
Because whatever comes, whatever
like
gets,
knowing.
Yeah, but sorry, go ahead.
Knowing is the dream.
Knowing is a dream. Yeah.
Yeah.
Observing is a dream. Witnessing is a dream. Manifesting is a dream. Everything is a dream. It's just really simple. Like, you know, I keep on going to, like in a nighttime dream, everything that happens is not really happening. So whatever you think you do, everything is a story, an illusion. I keep on using different words. Is energy. They're all synonymous, right? It's all synonymous, pointing out to the nothing that's not even nothing. Everything is this wordlessness, this namelessness that seems to be appearing as whatever happens, whatever seems to appear. So whatever comes out right now is wordless, nameless, appearing as, hey, nice background over there. So that's the wordless speaking. That's the wordless looking. That's the wordless listening. All of this is wordless, but we are trying to capture it in words. It can't be captured in words. It can't be captured in ideas, because it appears in everything. It appears in all the blank space around you. It appears in all of the pauses in between the words that I'm saying. For duality to appear, there is this wholeness that it's seemingly coming from, that is not separate from it. There's an interconnectedness in everything that's appearing. All the empty space taking form as Dave. All of the silence appearing as the sounds coming right now. So the empty space and the dog barking is all emptiness. It's all singularity. Because if you see a simulation, there are no separate simulations. It's one simulation. Otherwise, it would not work. There's no separate simulations. There's no separate dreamers. There's just one dreaming happening.
Yeah, that makes sense. That, like, in like the simulation kind of idea, that like any,
but no one's simulating it before you go there.
But no one's doing it. Yeah, sure, no one's doing it.
It's just simulating by itself. Yeah.
Yeah. But like, yeah,
it can
so
be
like
tricky.
even...
It can be tricky, right? Because it's quick to kind of like, you know, make it into a story again. Simulation is another story.
Yeah. Well, just as like the dream analogy, you know, it's kind of the same thing. It's like, if it's all a dream, then there's nothing outside of that, including like the thought that says this is outside of the dream, or this isn't it. or this,
Yeah.
you know, I'm missing it or whatever. It's like,
Yeah.
if it's all the dream, then
Or you can
knowing
also say that it's the unthinkable
all of that
happening.
is,
Something that you can't think about. That's what's happening. The unthinkable is happening.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's right. That's where it seems like it leads with the inescapability of like what you were saying earlier about whether you're doing nothing or doing something, there's no helping. There's no helping it. You know,
No.
there's no choosing really.
No.
Like if you're doing nothing or doing something, there's still just doing.
Yeah.
And you're not. And that's what's unthinkable. That's like where the mind
Yeah.
kind of stops there,
It's-
because it's like,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, I can't not be doing what I'm doing. And I can't do what I'm already not doing. It's just the doing. And then it's like, yeah, it's like the paradox for the mind that kind of, like a koan,
Yeah.
kind of, you know, it just kind
Yeah.
of stops. And it's like, okay, the mind is not the thing that's going to like
Yeah.
get this or get anywhere with it. Because
Yeah.
it's like, it is the dream, that dream of like knowing anything about this.
Yeah.
It becomes kind of obvious. In
Yeah,
that
so
kind of example.
If you're comprehending this, this is it. If you're not comprehending this, this is also it. The same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is maddening and also beautiful.
It is.
It's so, that's
It's like,
so weird.
Yeah.
It's got such a strange flavor to like love it and hate it at the same time, because it's
That's
like
what-
it's starving the knowledge piece of it, but it's like feeding some more intuitive, like relaxing kind of knowing
Yeah.
without knowing. I don't know.
It's
words,
like
you know?
like an assassin for everything that you know. It just got everything that you know gets shot because there's no knower. Everything that you think that you have
Yeah.
reached or everything that you have achieved is shot down because there's anything that you achieve, anything that you think that you know is reaffirming that there's a you that achieved something, that there's you not doing anything, that there's you doing something. It always goes back into that loop, cyclical loop of that I am or me doing something. It's the reaffirmation of that me. It just keeps on, it just operates in stories. Right? Everything that comes up is an illusion producing more illusions. It can only operate in that parameters.
Is it like the loop of knowing? I think I've heard
The
about
loop of
that.
illusion, the loop of desire, everything is a loop. The loop of being, the loop of understanding, the loop of wisdom, the loop of everything.
Yeah, because even if I understand that I can't get it, it's like there's that still, but I know that I
Bingo.
can't get it,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And that's the loop.
That's the loop, yeah. That's the loop.
And then it kind of makes a person feel like, well, fuck.
Yeah,
It's like, well,
You're-
where do I go now? Like, I can't not know,
yeah,
obviously. I can only know what I know. And that's just
Yeah.
the situation. That's just what's happening, is that I know stuff, or I think I
Yeah.
do. And I know
So-
that. And that's all a dream. And it's like, well,
yeah.
all right.
There's no way out. There's no way out. And most, most apparent, seekers are looking for a way out. Even if it keeps on getting expressed, there's a way out. It's waiting for that exit. The thing is, there's no exit.
I feel like that's exactly what I'm doing, is like with this loop of knowing thing. I keep noticing that there's a loop of knowing, and then it's
Yeah.
just like the waiting for now something has to happen now, because I've noticed the limitation of like what knowledge is going to get me. It's
Now
just
you're-
more
you-
unsatisfactory knowledge.
Yeah. You're now you're doing the loop of
It's like, and then it's just
knowing
the waiting.
the unknowing. You're trying to know the unknowable. It just hides. It's still knowing. Oh, now I'm unknowing. Now I'm not really interested in anything anymore. Now I'm, whatever seems to appear.
Yeah. Waiting for to just.
I think you're lagging there, Dave.
Oh,
Yeah.
just waiting for unknowing to happen.
Who's waiting though?
I guess.
Sorry.
I guess that's
sorry.
just what's happening too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. It's in the story of this character Emerson, believe me, that was the frustration. It just kept on hitting a wall over and over again. I'm like, no, and it think that he would know, and then I'm like, well, you know what? I'm not going to know one day. I'm just going to surrender. I'm just going to allow, I'm going to allow nothing. And I would kind of like, I'm like, oh, that's kind of like meditation. I'm like, damn it. So it's doing, or everything that you do is, it's just this, it's like a twilight zone that you can't get out of, right? Or it's like a TV show that repeats over and over again, apparently appearing. And then it's seen here that the character is just looping over and over and over again. But the character doesn't know it because it's in the loop. And once it's seen that, oh, this is just a rerun of something that's not really happening. It's an illusion, like a visual illusion. It's like a mirage.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
See, there it goes again.
Rerun. Yeah. Well, thanks for that, Emerson.
Yeah. See you again tomorrow. Same question, same thing. And until like it's almost kind of like when the why and the when and the how ends. That's what it is.
So what happened? We had a so what?
So what?
I heard you in the distance. I'm burning leaves, I heard him. Yeah, I'm burning leaves. Like, so what?
So what? Yeah.
I'm cleaning up I'm cleaning up my yard, which is full of stuff. So what?
So what? Yeah. The patron saint of So What has spoken. David, her name is Vera, and she's going to give you the mantra for a fee. Contact her.
It better be expensive. So I know it's worth it.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Vera. Thank you. We have Bert.
Fire.
Thanks.
Unless you have another question, Dave. You're okay for now?
All right, for now. Yeah, my mind is stuck looping anyway, so we'll give it a rest.
Just the sun on your skin.
I used to pinch myself and say, I am, or say Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. All of that technique just repeats and repeats and repeats because it's just reinforcing the illusion over and over and over again. Bertrand, please go ahead.
Hi.
Oh, hi. Just a second, Bertrand. Let me just let my doggy out. Just a second. Go ahead, Bertrand.
Oh yeah. What was I gonna say? Yeah, everything you're saying is just meaningless sound.
It is, yeah.
It's just like words. Well, I do hear the words, but also it's just like it's like la 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 la.
That's what it is, actually. Yeah, that's what it is. This is like basically dog barking, like chirping. I'm just chirping right now.
Yeah, and this is doing the same.
Yeah.
Same.
Chirp, chirp.
I didn't notice until like a few minutes ago. I was
yes.
Like, okay, Emerson's talking.
Yeah.
I don't really care about what he's saying, but it just bothered me. I'm like, why does it just seem a little not there?
Yeah, there's no one speaking here. There's a seeing, there's a hearing that there's no one here. So whatever it says is just chirping.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's just
Isn't that epic though?
it's pretty epic.
Yeah.
It's it's like it's like if you try and think that it's there and look for it, it's not there.
Yes.
But then if you don't think of it and you're just looking, then it's sort of there. I don't know. But
No, what
that's not
basically?
even.
Yeah. That's just you're it's distorting it already.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah,
It's
because
not
you're
a
trying to
method.
figure it out. You're trying to figure it
Yeah.
out, right? It's trying to be expressed in a way that is what's being said is incomprehensible, right? Because it's speaking
Yeah.
it's speaking in clarity, but there's also distortion happening at the same time. So clarity and distortion is really nothing. It's just this boundless energy. That's why when people say that there's just this energetic sharing, that it's not really being shared to anyone, because there's just this boundless energy that's appearing everywhere.
Everything you just said, sounded like trash, but then it's
Yeah.
funny at the same time.
Yeah. It is, yeah. It is. It's dreamlish, actually. There's a name for it. It's called dreamlish.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Everything that you hear, everything that you comprehend, everything that you understand is it. And everything that you don't understand is also it. So meaning it's trash.
And unlimited as well.
It's boundless, yeah.
But great. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's great. Right,
Hooray.
I'll move on. Hooray!
Yeah. Hooray!
La.
Cuckoo or whatever.
All right.
Well, that
Thanks.
concludes our parents' second day. Tomorrow is going to be a revelation. A big I'm just joking. My hat is going to be revealed. So thank you so much, everyone. There's another
Thank
breakout
you.
room. And thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Emerson.
Tomorrow is
Thank
going
you,
to be
Emerson. Thank you.
the best day ever.
Thank you, Emerson. Good night.
Thanks, Emerson.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Still there with his
Thank
hand
you.
up.
Bye-bye.